Good morning, students. In this video, you are going to learn subprograms. Okay. So, in that subprograms, there are two types of subprograms. One is stored procedures and stored functions. Let's discuss. Subprograms in PLSQL. Okay. The PLSQL programs can be stored in the database as stored programs. Okay. And can be invoked whenever required. Such stored programs in PLSQL are known as subprograms. Okay. These subprograms are named PLSQL blocks that can take parameters and be invoked. Okay. So, girls, listen carefully. The subprograms are the stored programs in the PLSQL. Okay, and can be invoked whenever required. And what is the use of these subprograms? A subprogram allows a decomposition of a program into logical units called modules. Okay, this process is called as modularization. By using the concept of subprogram, we can we can divide a program into several number of logical units. Those are called modules. Okay. After code is modularized, the modules can be reused by the C program and shared by the other subprograms. Okay, that means if you create subprograms in the PLSQL, those modules can be reused by the same program or shared by the other program. So it's very easier to maintain and debugging code of smaller modules than the single large program. Okay. And the PLSQL contains two types of subprograms. One is stored procedure and next one is stored function. Okay. Coming to the stored procedure. Okay. So a stored procedure is the named PLSQL block that can accept parameters. And okay. So parameters. Generally speaking, a procedure is used to perform procedure is used to perform one or more tasks and does not return value to the calling environment. Okay, it's not compulsory to return value to the calling environment. Coming to the stored functions, a stored functions is a named PLSQL block which accepts the parameters used to perform one or more tasks and return value to the calling environment. One more difference between the procedure and function is procedure is used to perform a task and function is used to perform compute and return a value. Okay, this is the main difference between the function and procedure. Those are the stored objects in the PLSQL. Okay. Let me explain the stored procedures. Okay. Okay. So the stored procedure, a procedure or stored procedure is a PLSQL, is a named PLSQL block that accepts parameters. Okay. Like other programs, a procedure, stored procedures also has an header. Okay, which contains a declaration section, executable section, and optional exception handling sections also. Okay, and a procedure can be compiled and stored in the database. Okay, when you store a stored procedure in the database, it can be used wherever you want. Okay, you can use in the same program or you can use in the other programs also. And also procedures can execute independently, and the procedures are also used in another programs also. Okay, those are treated as a separate object in the database in the Oracle PLSQL database. Okay. Okay. So let's see how to creating a procedure. Okay. A procedure is created with a create or replace procedure statement. Okay. This is just follow the syntax. Okay, note down carefully in your books. A procedure is created with the create or replace procedure statement. Just see the syntax. Create or replace is the optional. Procedure name. Okay, and parameters list also optional. If you want, you can pass. Otherwise, without parameters also, you can create a procedure. Parameter name. Okay, in out those are the modes of the parameter, and coming to the type is nothing but data type. Okay, and in out or those are the optional. Okay, let me explain. And coming to next statement is or as. Okay, in that procedure, whatever local variables you want, you can declare here the local declaration of variables, constants, and all variables, all types of variables. And coming to begin. Okay, so begin section, as usual you can write the PLSQL executable statements. Okay, and next exception section. In the exception section, it's also optional. Exception handlers. Okay, so the statements which handles the exceptions are to be written inside the exception. Okay, last is end procedure name. Here also the procedure is name is optional. Just you put end with a semicolon, just enough. No need to write the procedure name along with the end statement. Okay, this is how we are creating a procedure. So let me explain the syntax line by line. Coming to first, create or replace. What it means? Create means creates a function procedure with that name, or replace, what it indicates. Okay, that if the procedure exists, it will be dropped already. If the procedure exists with the same name, it will be dropped and replaced with a new version with the same name. Okay, this is the replace speciality. And the next one is procedure name. Okay, just follow the syntax first. Procedure is a keyword. Next one, procedure name specifies the name of the procedure. Okay, and coming to parameters, the optional parameters list. Okay, if you want you can, otherwise you omit this part. Optional parameter list. Parameters are nothing but arguments that are passed into stored procedure to perform a task. Okay, parameters list contains the name of the parameter, the name of the argument, mode of the argument, and type of the argument. Okay. Okay. Coming to mode and type. Mode means here there are three modes for arguments: in, out. In is default. By default, if you don't mention the mode, it will be taken as in by default. Out and in out. So what is in represents? Okay. So already we know the concept of functions in C and Java. Okay. So the in represents passes a value from the calling environment into the procedure. Okay. So in main function, we have made a function calling statement. From that environment, we can pass actual arguments to the function or procedure. Okay, so then in represents passes value from the calling environment to the procedure. Okay, out represents the parameter that will use it to passes from the procedure to the calling environment. Okay, we can also pass values from the values back to the called environment, and that means subprogram environment to the calling environment. Okay. Coming to the data type is nothing but a type of the parameter, the type of the argument. It can be either SQL or PLSQL types like number, var_2, character. Okay, and PLSQL data types, percentage type, percentage row type, like that. Okay, coming to the procedure body. Procedure body contains the executable statements. Okay. Okay. And the as keyword, as or is are creating a standalone procedure. You can use is or as. Okay, next one, local declarations. If you want, you can make local declaration of variables and constants and all. Okay, next in begin section, you can write PLSQL executable statements, and in exception section, you have to write the exception section. exception handling statements, and last statement is end. Okay, this is how we are writing, how we are creating a procedure. Just see this simple example. This follow example creates a simple procedure that displays addition of two numbers on the screen when executed. Okay, just create or replace procedure. What's the procedure name here? PR1. Okay, how many arguments we are passing here? Two arguments, x with number, y number. By default, the mode will be taken as in, x in number, y in number. Okay, is s number. This is a local variable you want. Begin s equal to x plus y. So dbms underscore output underscore line sum is yes. Okay, and PR1. Okay, this is also optional. And PR1 name of the procedure. Maybe, may not be. You can write here. Okay. So when you are executing this statement, what it displays? The procedure created. Okay. When you get a statement, when you execute stored procedure, procedure created with compilation errors, to know the errors at the SQL prompt, type the command show errors, SHOW, show errors, ERRORS semicolon, and just press enter. Okay. If you use that command, then you can know the errors in the procedure or function. Okay. Coming to the executing a standalone procedure. A standalone procedure can be called or executed in two ways. Okay. So first one is using the execute keyword. Using the execute keyword directly, you can execute this procedure whenever you want the addition of two numbers. Otherwise, calling the name of the procedure from PLSQL block. That means in another program, if you want to do this procedure, then you can call the name of the procedure from a PLSQL block. Okay. So just see this, how we are executing by using the execute command. In SQL prompt, when you use the procedure with the execute command like this, execute space PR1. Okay, we have to pass two arguments, 10, 20. Okay, then what will be happened? 10, 20. These are the actual arguments passed to the calling environment, to this called environment. Okay, execute. This is the okay 10, 20. Then by taking 10 and 20, it goes to the procedure PR1 and perform the sum of 10 and 20, and it displays the value sum is 30. Okay. Coming to calling a procedure. So calling a procedure means if you want to use in the PLSQL block, that means in another program, just you can write like this. Okay, this when you execute this program, the above code will display the sum is 30. PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Okay. Next, deleting a standalone procedure. Okay, standalone procedure also deleted with the drop procedure command. Okay, syntax for deleting a procedure is drop procedure name. Okay, so you can drop the procedure PR1 by using the following statement: drop procedure PR1, then the space created for the stored object will be released. Okay, coming to the stored functions. A function is also named PLSQL block like procedure that can accept parameters and execute it. Okay. And procedures and functions have the same similar structure, except the function can have return value, return clause. Okay, always function returns some value to the called environment, to the calling environment. Okay, so in this syntax we can use the return clause. It's the difference between the syntax of a procedure and a function. Okay, so function is the same as procedure, except that is a returns a value. Just see this syntax, creating a function. So create function, just see the syntax, create or replace function, function name, parameter name, in out. Okay, so here is the extra, here is the additional syntax in creating a function return, and you have to write the return data type is as, okay, is or as. Then and local declarations, if you want any local variables you can do local declarations. Next begin PLSQL executable statements, and next exception handling statements. Okay, and coming to where just function name means specifies the name of the function, or replace option allows the modification of existing function. That means if a function exists with the same name already, that will be dropped and again created with the same name with new structure. Okay, add optional parameters list contains name and mode and type of parameters. Okay, so in represents the value that will be passed from outside. Okay, that means it represents the value which is passed from the calling environment to the called environment. Okay, and out represents the parameters that will be used to return a value outside of the parameter. Okay, that means out represents the value, the parameter that will be used to pass from calling environment, called environment to calling environment. Okay, so the function must contain a return statement. Okay, return class specifies the data type that you are going to return from the function. Okay, so what type of value you want to return, you must specify the data type of that variable in the return clause, and the function body contains the executable part. Okay, so as or is keywords are used to create a standalone function. Let's see this example. For same example, I have to create here the function create or replace function 1 x number comma y number. Okay, there are two parameters, return number. So what's the data type of return value? Number, is or number. Okay, and begin or initialization equal to x plus y. Just I want to perform addition of two numbers, x plus y. Okay, okay, sum is stored into the return variable or, and return or, this is compulsory in the function. Okay, end. Just see this. Okay, so first of all you have to execute, if you execute this program, it displays the function created. Okay, coming to the function execution. I declare two variables in one program, n1 equal to 10, n2 equal to 20, s number, begin, s equals to function 1, n1 comma n2. Okay, so n1 and n2. So now 10 and 20 actual arguments are passed to the function subprogram. Okay, so it accepts the values 10 and 20 and performs the addition and return or value. Okay, so what is the or value? 10 and plus 20, 30. It returns the 30 value, and 30 value is assigned to yes. Okay, that's why the result is yes. Okay, coming to the drop of the function. Drop a function. To drop the function, drop function statement is used. Okay, like simply drop function name, then the space assigned to or allocated to function will be removed. Okay, let's see the practical execution of these procedures and functions. First of all, I'll show the function directly. I typed these lines at SQL prompt, create or replace function 1. Okay, return number is or number, begin or equal to x plus y. For addition of two numbers, just I wrote one function name function 1, function created. Okay, then I used to write another program for accessing. This is a stored function stored in the database, PLSQL database, Oracle database with the name function 1, okay, by accepting 2 parameters. So just see this. This is function accessing program. Note down in your notes is very clearly, students. N1 number equal to ampersand number 1, N1 N2 equal to ampersand number 2. I want to read two values at runtime. Okay, begin. Just I passed those two values in the function 1 in order to calculate the addition of two numbers. Okay, and the function returns a number. That's why S is a number variable. That's why the result is assigned to S. Okay, result is S. Just see this. Okay, if I execute, it prompts some messages like enter value for number 1, enter value for number 2. Okay, whatever values you have entered, those values, for those values perform addition, and output will be displayed. Okay, what is the result? 25. Okay, and next, so I want to create one procedure PR1 for same addition of two numbers. Okay, it's a procedure. For this procedure, accept two numbers and perform an addition, and yes, print the sum is addition of two numbers value will be displayed in the procedure only. Okay, so when you execute this procedure create, then you can execute these procedure directly with the execute command at SQL prompt, as I said earlier slides. Okay, execute PR1 10,20 sum is 30. Okay, if you execute this statement with some other arguments, it performs a different output. Okay, this is how the procedures are executed directly by using the execute command, or else you can call those stored procedures in your own programs. Just see this. This is another program. Begin. Okay, I will show you. If any error occurs, the errors displays like this. Okay, coming to this program, I want to accept two numbers at runtime. Okay, S number begin. Of course, no need to mention here S number in the main program. Okay, why? Because it doesn't return any value to the program here. The procedure itself displays the message also, displays the output also. Okay, so PR1 N1 comma N2, simply I call the program PR1, then by taking the runtime values, it executes the stored procedure with name PR1. Okay, just see this. Sum is 39. PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Okay, okay, and let me show the show errors. Let me show. Just want to create one procedure PR2 with some errors. Just see this. Procedure created with compilation errors. Okay, if any errors are existing in the procedure or stored procedures or stored functions, okay, it displays a message like warning, procedure created with compilation errors. Okay, then you need to verify the errors. It does here. It doesn't display the errors, just it displays the warning like the procedure created with compilation error. Then to know the errors in that procedure. Then you type show errors. Just see this. Errors for procedure PR2. Okay, it shows the errors like this. Okay, just see this. End of the file will expecting 2 second line and a 6th line. Okay, and coming to the notepad, just here missing. Of course, Oracle displays some errors which are not understandable by us very easily. Okay, now I correct this error and I can copy and paste it. Oh, again the procedure is created with compilation errors. 6th and PR1. Oh yes, actually this program name is PR2. I'll write here PR1. Okay, in 6th line, just it displays the line numbers, 2nd line and 6th line. Okay, again PR2. Okay, just simply I'll copy this program and paste it near the SQL prompt. Just see this. Now the procedure created without any compilation errors. Okay, this is the process how you rectify the errors if it displays the warning like procedure created with compilation errors. Okay. Okay. Just I followed for this video also reference books. Relational fundamentals of relational database management system. Authors Sri Sumati and S. Sakirajan. Okay, any questions, students? Just follow the syntaxes thoroughly and follow the examples. Okay, note down clearly. Thank you.